With 28 years of service to country and community, Sergeant Frank has plenty of life experience to share. When his service was complete, he wasn't satisfied with retirement. Sergeant Frank founded Adopt a Cop USA, a nonprofit organization that mentors kids with law enforcement officers in our schools. His vision is to change the perception of law enforcement one child at a time. This show covers a wide range of topics with people who make positive impacts on others' lives. Tonight we are talking to a South Florida police officer who could talk to us all night about amazing police stories, but tonight he wants to talk about the ketogenic way of life. He says police officers need this way of life to assist them in doing their jobs. It is my honor to introduce the one and only Sergeant Frank.
Welcome to the Sergeant Frank Show today. And as usual, or as always, or as sometimes, we have our co-host,
the Bird Dog.
And tonight's special guest is a man without any introduction. Actually, this is the introduction. He doesn't need an introduction. He's a fellow law enforcement officer. He's a battle warrior. He's a really good friend, Eric Reynolds.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We've talked to Eric before, and we've talked about his battle with evil, his gunfight. We've talked about different things with children and raising great kids, because he has amazing two young boys that are, I don't know how he has the energy to keep up with them, because they are full of energy and life and just super smart, and of course his beautiful wife. But tonight we wanted to do something different, because it does relate to officer survival, but in a different way. It relates to our nutrition and our stress levels as officers in this job. And he was telling me about this amazing diet that he's been doing. And we're not doctors. We're not clinical people. We're not scientists. And the thing is how to not only make it through your career or to the end of your career, but to do it in a way to keep you healthy. And he's been using a program that's incredible. He's lost weight. He's got more energy, and it's helped him with his stress levels as well. So tell us about this amazing diet, Eric.
Well, I wouldn't say it's an amazing diet. It's actually a way of life that we used to eat before, like pretty much the 1950s, when industry got involved, or actually probably the 1920s, before industry got involved in making our food. It's the way I think of it is just the low carb, healthy fats, and medium protein, and it's called the ketogenic diet. And a lot of people are like, blah, blah, it's another fad. No, it's not a fad. This is how we used to eat thousands of years ago, until we started having grains in our diet. And of course, the heroin of food, sugar, which has caused the diabetic epidemic and caused the heart disease epidemic. And the knowledge or the information that's out there that people don't know about, that I've been able to find just on my own, it's amazing. And I don't know where you want me to start, how I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now, and how I got to this point, or what was going on in my life that made me heavy at that point.
Start from the very beginning.
All right. 1982, they allowed corn syrup to start being a sugar that was put into our food system. Okay. And that's when I was 12 years old. And I battled having a gut and being overweight my whole life until now. Okay. The one of the funny things about the corn syrup, which is high fructose corn syrup, okay, there's no receptors in our bodies to pick that up, so our insulin levels never know, and our food hormone called ghrelin doesn't know that we're full, and our brain never is notified that we're full. So what do you think we keep doing?
Eating,
right? And they don't get us with just the food. They obviously juices, Coca-Cola, and all. It's become a big industry. And unfortunately, the studies back in the 1960s and 70s that showed that animal fat was causing the high cholesterol in our bodies and leading to heart disease, well, they were funded by the sugar industry and the pharmaceutical companies. Because when they do a study, they want a result. They got stockholders to pay. They got, people on the ticket to make some more money. So I didn't know all this until like the last like 6 months. What happened with me was I was always working out. I always, I was trying to keep myself in good shape. And I always had I was always 20, 30 pounds overweight. And one day we did, we all did that Cops and Cabins trip in October 2017. And I was like, man, I'm prime candidate for a heart attack. I just had this feeling. And so I started trying to lose weight on my own, cutting back on some things, even though I was still drinking. That's another problem I had was, I was probably losing way too much. And I dropped a little weight, but I kind of got stuck, I was like, oh, what's going on? So a buddy of mine I played hoops with, mind you, I played basketball pretty much my whole life. I still always heavy. Couldn't figure it out. He goes, try the ketogenic diet or way of living. I'm like, what's that? He's like, well, I eat healthy fats. He's like, in the morning, you have your black coffee. Don't put any sugar or creamer in it. Take a scoop of ghee, grass-fed butter, put it in there. Mix it up. This way, the fat will get your enzymes started on burning fat, and then go do your workout or whatever. And then there's a whole world of information out there at ketogenic.com from recipes. And, they pretty much break it down how this way of eating is, you pretty much, the basic concept is you're burning fat in your body and what you eat instead of burning carbohydrates, which is glucose.
So you're saying that you're burning the fat in your body instead of the carbohydrates that you're ingesting. Is that correct?
That's correct. Because what happens when you eat a lot of like bad carbohydrates and not the healthy ones that are like in avocados and kale and broccoli and stuff like
that. Well, tell us what the bad ones are so people can know what the bad ones are.
Well, there's one on every corner. You have your McDonald's, your Burger Kings. It's pretty much your breads, your rice, your pastas. And I know it's breaking people's hearts, but that stuff's killing you.
Is there any good? Is there any good carbohydrates that we're supposed to eat?
Yeah, I just said there's broccoli, there's kale.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Cauliflower. Now there is some stuff out there that what this diet does is you learn to replace the carbohydrate that are high, those type of foods. You replace them with something else rather than getting a regular, flour pizza crust. You get cauliflower pizza crust, which is very low in the carbs, and it's very filling because it's made with like mozzarella cheese and cauliflower. An egg or something like that. And it's flattened out. It's not your thick crust that you would have at Pizza Hut or anything like that. So, but unfortunately what happens is, it's funny. I was talking to somebody and they're like, well, carbohydrates, turn into glucose. That's your main energy source that your body prefers because it's burning that over fat. I'm like, oh yeah. So when you drink alcohol, the first thing your body does is burn the alcohol, right? And then it burns carbohydrates and fat. So shouldn't we then be drinking alcohol all the time as our energy source? To me, I look at alcohol as a toxin. It's a poison in our body. Our body's trying to get rid of it. So of course, our body's going to naturally move the carbohydrates and burn that out and then start on the fat. So once you knock out the carbohydrates or on a lower, you just have a certain amount of grams, your body's going to concentrate on burning the fat. And you use that for energy. And what ends up happening because of that is you have reduced inflammation in your body. You have mental clarity and sharpness. You're full of energy, which is crazy. You're clear skin, you reduce cravings, anti-aging effects, and you reduce the risk of chronic disease.
Well, the thing is, you're talking about the alcohol consumption, and you're talking about how that's a poison. What happens a lot of times with people when they go out drinking, when they get done drinking, then they go hit some pizza place and get a big fat pizza, or they get some other terrible food because they've lost their inhibitions about their diet, and they eat this really, really bad food for them, and then they wonder why in the morning they feel so horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's really an epidemic. I mean, we've seen the diabetes numbers just go crazy ever since pretty much sugar has been introduced into our diet. There's a big debate out there: is sugar food or is sugar a drug? So sugar acts like a drug. It hits the same addiction centers as cocaine, heroin, and alcohol.
Well, actually, isn't sugar more like I've read laboratory results where laboratory rats are more addicted to sugar than they are cocaine.
Well, once they become addictive, if you get them addicted to Coke and then you give them methamphetamines, they'll become immediately addicted to methamphetamines. So it goes all because it's hitting the same receptors in the brain.
So let me back this up. So with this unbelievable drug problem we have in our country, do you think the overindulgence of sugar has started the pathway to addiction for our human beings?
It was that and making fat look bad when they had, all of a sudden they introduced margarine, took butter out of our regular rotation. They said, oh, you got to have lean meats. Don't eat the fat. Man, I eat the fat off steaks all the time, man. And that just has me booming.
That's my favorite part.
Right? But you just got to lay off the baked potato or lay off the rice or lay off the fried appetizers. You know what I'm saying? And, you just got to watch
the hardest
that stuff.
part.
Well, you know why? Because you're addicted to the sugar that comes from the carbohydrates.
Of course I am. I love that stuff.
I mean,
that's probably why I'm a diabetic.
Well, we can make you diabetic free if you just took the sugar out of your diet. You would be healed.
That means ice cream, candy, all the really good stuff, right?
Ice cream. That's poison, dude. That's the way you gotta look at it.
I don't know, man. Don't taste
you gotta
like poison.
Change. Well, you think so? When the scientist is doing the study for pharma or the food industry, they're like, we don't need this to taste so good because we don't want people to make a lot of money. No, they know exactly what they're doing. And that's why we have obese kids. I mean, they force us, have your kid drink juice. It's just one of the worst things we could ever done for our kids in this country.
So I've actually seen commercials where I think the actress was saying, oh no, it's okay. It's fructose syrup. Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah, it comes from corn because the corn industry is very powerful. Remember, everything that they make cheap here, wheat, corn, soy, sugar, what do they push down our throats? That stuff.
Well, and the farmers are actually subsidized by our government to make that, more of that.
Yeah, it's very sad. There's 56 different names for sugar when you're reading on the back of the recipes or back of the ingredients.
Wow.
56?
56.
What?
So they're trying to cover up the real name of what it is?
Yeah, man. Did you know in what was it? Sugar industry lobbied the Federal Drug and Food Administration to say that they didn't have to say how much sugar was in the ingredients of a package because they didn't want competitors to steal their recipe. And the FDA said, "Yep, okay."
Tell me how this diet has affected you and your PTS, because are you jonesing for the sugar, or is it, how's it work? How's it helping you with that situation?
No, what happened with me was, after my shooting, and then I had a surgery in 2014, feeling really kind of figuring out like, wow, why am I feeling like this? What's with the hypervigilance and all this? I ended up moving, having another son, and there was a lot of things going on about my future and my position of a desk job, and am I going to go back out there into action? And I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So I put on probably another 20, 30 pounds just indirectly from drinking. Even though I was exercising, I couldn't figure out why I was gaining weight, and I was still having lack of sleep at night, and I just couldn't figure it out. And this last year that I've been, laying off the sugar and eating a low carb diet, I can't tell you. I sleep so much better. I'm more motivated to get up. I get up at 4:30 right now to go hit the gym by 5 a.m. I never would have done that 2 years ago. And it's become part of my life. I'm just more energetic. I stand at work. In my desk job, I got one of those desks that goes up and down. It's like a desk. And it just helps me because sitting's really bad for you. It makes your body metabolism slow down.
Wait,
I'm just more energy.
Can you say that again? The sitting part?
Sitting down makes you slow down. Your body starts to wind down. It's almost like getting prepared to go to sleep.
Did you hear that, Frank?
So,
yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Should I be standing up?
No, go ahead.
I bought you a desk so you could work on our program standing up. I thought that's where you were going to interject that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
You're
interrupt.
welcome, by the way.
So I've always known my stress levels to be pretty high. And then obviously some of my cholesterol results based on some of the blood tests I was getting was showing like, oh yeah, you're having a lot of hypertension. And so ever since I've been eating this way and I've reduced the inflammation in my body, I've become more disciplined in what I eat. So I can go to parties or get-togethers and see, cupcakes, and all in my head is like, that's diabetes right there. There's no way I'm going to eat like that. I got 2 young boys I got to be around. I'm going to be 50 years old in October. So once you get off the sugar addiction, it does change your perspective on things, and all of a sudden all this stuff starts happening. It's just like, oh my God, it's been 40 something years I've been living the wrong way, and now I figure out the right way.
So,
It's amazing.
So what is it that you can eat on this diet?
Well, how about this? This is what I have for breakfast every day, right? I have 3 eggs. I have either 5 pieces of bacon, 4 pieces of sausage. Could be pork, turkey, chicken, even though there's more fat in the pork, which you need, than turkey. And I have an avocado. Healthy fats right there. And that's the start of my day. Of course, I don't eat, I get up at 5 or 4:30 and I don't eat till 9 a.m. So that's part of the fasting. I'll eat again at 12:30, eat again at 4:30, and then I don't eat again until the following 9 a.m. And fasting's a huge thing. Yeah, fasting's big, man. Your body turns to the fat inside your body to burn. Unless you've got a bunch of carbohydrates, so your body's made glucose, and then it's going to burn the glucose first.
So you're saying eat 3 times a day and that's it?
That's all I do.
You're eating at 4:30 and then you don't eat till 9 the next day?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the way we've done it for. You can't be out. You got to try it.
I'm out. There's no way. I can't go 10 minutes without having to stuff something in my mouth.
Thousands of people. Well, that's the problem. When you eat, if you're eating a carbohydrate diet, you're going to be hungry every 2 hours because it's sugar. It's fake food. If you eat fats, like I said, the avocado, the pork sausage, the eggs, that sits in your belly. It takes a while for your body to digest it, so you're not as hungry as often.
Okay. Well, I eat eggs
say you
every
can't
morning.
do it either, Bird Dog, because we've been out in the woods or on the road or doing something, and you're like, oh, we haven't eaten in like 6 hours. So you can do it if it's just a matter of mind over matter.
Okay, I'll change my mind. I don't want to do it.
I don't want it to. But you want your last 20 years to be in a wheelchair in an old folks home, or do you want to be able to walk around and play with your grandkids? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Do you want to be popping pills?
Yeah.
Are you on a statin? Are you on a statin?
A statin? No, I don't know what that is.
No, that's a low cholesterol medication that kills people.
Oh, Arvastatin?
No, any statin.
Yeah, I have a statin.
All right. Do you know by taking that statin, you're only increasing your chance of living by 1% without taking it?
No. How do you know that?
The research is out there, man. Go to Dr. David Diamond, cholesterol, on YouTube, and you'll see how the pharmaceutical companies funded these studies to say.
Have you checked this guy out? Is he really a doctor?
He's a professor at UCF. I'm sorry, University of South Florida.
USF.
And it's all out there, man. There's all these literatures. There's these lectures. You got to see this other guy. This guy blows everything. Robert Lustig, Sugar the Bitter Truth, and he does another one called Fat Chance. And
so here's what we could do. I think this would be helpful for our listeners. Is what we'll have Eric do is send us these links to these different studies and videos, and then we'll post them on our sites. And we'll let our viewers actually listen to them. Like I said before, we're not saying we're doctors. We're not scientists. We're talking to a police officer who has been in law enforcement for a long time, could not figure out why he couldn't lose weight with all the exercise he was doing. And it came down to he had to change his habits of eating. Like he said before in the very beginning of this, it's not a diet. It's a change of your lifestyle to make you healthier.
So what do you eat for lunch?
Well, this is where meal prep comes in. I have a variety of things. I can do zucchini lasagna, which is meat, cheese, and I'm talking about the good cheese like ricotta, and you can throw in some cream cheese, you can throw in cheddar cheese, and instead of using pasta, use zucchini slices as your pasta. And when it's all mixed together with the low carb pasta sauce, you can't tell the difference.
Low
And
carb
because
pasta sauce.
hey, it's out there, man. Everything in the supermarket, I dare you to walk down every aisle. Everything has sugar in it. They put sugar in the food for no reason, but they know you're going to come back and buy more of it.
So you can actually buy a low sugar or no sugar substitute of tomato sauce for your lasagna.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another one I do is I do a cheeseburger casserole. That sounds delicious, right? It's nothing but whatever meat you like. It could be lamb, it could be pork, it could be hamburger or beef, I mean. And it's mixed with cheese, mayonnaise, and you bake a casserole of it. And you get you cut it up in size. You don't want to eat half the tray. But you just take it to work. You freeze some of it. And you always have food on hand. One of my go-to snacks is pork rinds. No carbs in pork rinds.
I eat the heck out of pork rinds now.
Well, then you're on the right path, at least that way.
But doesn't salt turn into sugar though?
No, absolutely not.
No?
Well,
Okay, so I'm misinformed on that.
The whole salt craze, you got to lower, that's another fraud. That and the lower your animal fat is a fraud, dude. It's amazing information that's out there. Go to Dr. David Diamond, go to Lustig, and you will see. And these are certified doctors, neurosurgeons, people that were supposed to be diagnosed with, high blood pressure and were given statins to start taking. And they were like, wait a minute, before I take this, I want to read up on it. I want to do literature or read up on the literature and read up on the studies. And you'll see that the studies were handpicked. The food industry is always like, hey, we need more research to find out if sugar is really going to cause harm in 50 years. Well, who's going to give people sugar for 50 years? Yeah. That's unethical. You're not going to poison people. So they know that research is never going to come out. They just keep just keep going along.
So what does the statins do to you?
Let me look at my little notes here that I made. So what statins pretty much do is people are so concerned with cholesterol being bad, and that's where the issue is. They tied cholesterol being tied in with people that smoked, that were diabetic, that had other health issues. And because they found cholesterol in their arteries, they go like, cholesterol's bad. No, cholesterol would be in your arteries even if a healthy person died. It's part of our system. It's in our brain. It's one of the biggest things in our body. So my cholesterol, after a year of being on this, my HDL is 103. My triglycerides are 88, which are almost off the chart good. My LDL, which is supposedly the bad cholesterol, which was only discovered in the 1970s, is high, according to my medical doctor. He's like, oh, I got to get you on a statin. I go, I'm not getting on a statin because you don't even know what kind of LDL that is. There's two kinds of LDL. There's the kind that's big and just kind of floats around doing its job. And there's the little particles that are like plaque that get stuck inside your arteries. That's the one that's bad. And that's from a bad diet.
So does statins hurt you?
The statins hurt you, man.
What
they lower your cholesterol that your body needs.
Oh, because I'm taking Arvastatin.
Well, it's funny that, the two bigger statin companies, when they did their research and it only showed a 1% difference of helping you not have a heart attack, the way they came out with that number was by statistics when they do a multiplication play on numbers. And they're like, oh, you won't have a heart attack, 36% chance over not. So in other words, we've been lied to. And the information's out there, everybody. I'm telling you. And you're not going to see it on the news. You're not going to hear it on the radio stations, except for this podcast. It is out there. And this company has made billions and billions of dollars at keeping us sick and keeping us on medications and keeping the food industry, keeping our food as poison.
Well, who makes the commercials? I mean, who pays for your news channel?
Right. Dude,
the commercials for food.
I was watching ESPN tonight with my son. And all of a sudden, they're like, brought to you by Reese's. I'm like, son, that is sugar. that will give you diabetes. Obviously if you had a little piece once in a while, but the problem is it's addictive. You might be saying, son, here's heroin, or here's a line of Coke. Try it. Don't worry about it, because that's where it leads to.
Is it bad that I'm sitting here during this entire podcast eating a Nutty Buddy?
Yeah, that buddy's not your buddy.
That Nutty is not your buddy.
I must say that.
I'll go ahead and say it because somebody needs to. That Nutty is not your buddy.
I mean, you guys know that's in the last 50 years, Alzheimer's, autism. You've had obesity, heart attacks. Everything's gone up, right? What do you think? Everyone's trying to say, maybe it's pesticides, which it could be. All that stuff plays into
global warming.
Global warming. No, it's the food, man. When you can go into 7-Eleven and get a 60-ounce Coke, a bag of chips or Doritos, and a Snickers for like 99 cents, that's a problem, man.
Well, I don't drink any kind of sodas anymore. I haven't done that for a long time, which is good.
And that's really good. And
I was addicted
part of the
to
battle.
those. I was definitely addicted to Diet Coke and Mountain Dew and all that stuff.
So you just said it, you're addicted. You know what's in it? Sugar.
Yeah, no doubt. Now I'm addicted to Nutty Buddies.
Yeah, well, it's just a mind thing, man. Because, like Eric said earlier, I mean, it depends on and it's all about your goals. I mean, if you look around, it doesn't take a lot to figure out there's a problem with our diet in this country. Go to any Walmart, any store, any location where people are gathered, and just look around. And little kids that are like in elementary schools, that they couldn't run a 100-yard dash to save their lives. That's a problem. It's a big problem with our recess, lack of recesses, lack of playtime, lack of playground activities, because these kids are so busy being taught how to do well on a test, which doesn't teach them anything about life, that they're being destroyed physically in these situations where they're primarily sitting.
Yeah.
Well, another issue we're having is we're on the verge of a healthcare failure. I mean, our whole healthcare system is rooted in a bias in funding of the research, the reporting in the media, and the medical journals, and conflicts of interest. So we're spending 75% of our healthcare money on diabetes, Alzheimer's, stuff that's related to food that we're intaking. And it's just, no, that's okay. Healthcare system is going to keep paying for it, or we're paying for it. I mean,
there was some place that wouldn't pay for some type of, because they said it was induced by their diet.
Some type of what? You cut out a little bit.
They wouldn't pay for the health care because they said it was I think it was like an insurance company, like a healthcare insurance company said, no, you caused this by your diet or something like that.
Really?
That's one of the big propagandas, is they're making the 3-year-old kid that's obese responsible because he's obese. And when we're like, no, you made this kid addicted to sugar and carbohydrates as an infant. So now his parents are following the same suit. All right, here's potato chips, here's, the cheeseburger, the Happy Meal, here's a toy, just so you want more. But they're blaming.
I wonder how much sugar is in formula now that you said that.
You know what? Probably a ton. And how do they make a formula that's supposed to be good for every kid when each kid is an individual?
Right. And how is it that a case of formula can sit at room temperature? I mean, isn't that kind of an indication if something can sit out at room temperature for years, that it's probably not the best thing for you or your baby?
Yeah, but that's not what they'll tell you. They'll tell you, hey, you'll get your life back. You don't have to stay at home and breastfeed. You can go back to work. Just take this powder. It's great, And the doctors are right behind it because they don't know.
So my daughter.
Sorry, Grace.
Sorry, my daughter's been cooking for me for supper most nights when she's here. And she likes chicken, so she cooks chicken different ways, but she puts, different things on it, like butter and things like that. But
that's good.
But then she says we should eat sweet potatoes because they're better than potatoes. Is that a bad carb as well because it's a potato?
Well, it depends on where you're trying to get to. So let's say you're trying to lose 30 pounds, right? Well, then you don't want to eat that sweet potato, because then your body's going to turn those carbs into glucose and burn that first. So if you're trying to lose weight, you want your body to burn the fat in your body and the fat that you're intaking. So instead of having the sweet potato, I would have cauliflower rice or cauliflower
Well, we eat
mac and cheese.
Brussels sprouts and broccoli and all that stuff too.
Well, that's good too. But if you got to, there's a couple apps out there where you can track your foods and kind of say, this is my goal. I want to lose a pound a week. I want to lose 2 pounds a week, or a pound and a half. And it'll tell you, all right, for you to lose this at your weight and your height, you need to keep your carbs under 30 grams. You need your fat intake at this level and protein at this level. So you just sit there and you type it in. Sometimes you can scan it. I mean, it takes work, but you're talking about your health and your life. It's more important than, I don't know, playing video games all day or something like that,
Well, I mean, and then I think that when you're out on the road, I think a lot of people say, well, it's hard to eat when you're out. But if you start training yourself at home, and when you do go outside or you go to a restaurant, you can probably stay on your diet or your I think of a better word for diet, because you're right. It does sound like a temporary situation.
Well, if you're going call to call and you're not meal prepping, especially if you're on 12-hour shifts, that's on you. You should allow yourself to have some go-to foods with you. And it could be almonds. You can have an avocado with you. Or if you do have to go to one of the dark side restaurants like a McDonald's or something, or just get it without the bread and the fries. Get 2 chicken breasts on a salad and load that up with blue cheese or ranch dressing. That's all healthy fats. Now, that's not exactly the best ranch dressing to get, because sometimes they do use soy in it, but it's still better than the alternative of getting the bread or getting the fries.
I eat a lot of salads. Is that good?
But what do you eat in your salads?
Everything. Apple, ham.
All right,
I just made a salad. I cut up ham. I cut up apples. I cut up cucumbers, radishes. What else? Onions.
All right. So here's the thing. When you're living the ketogenic way and you're trying to burn fat, you're not going to be able to eat any fruit. Even though it's a healthy, sugar of the fruit, family, but it's not going to let your body burn the fat, because it's going to burn the glucose in the fruit. So if you got to go 6 months without a banana, 6 months without an apple, that's what I'm talking about. You're just limiting your time from that food. And then instead, in the onions too. So when I go to a restaurant, instead of using or eating their croutons that are made from bread, they make croutons out there that are made from cheese. So I bring my own. I pour it on top of the salad. I get extra scoop of blue cheese on my steak salad, and gobble that thing down, man. It's just, you got to make little adjustments. It doesn't take a lot.
Do they charge you extra for bringing your own?
No, especially when I'm uniform. They don't charge me. I usually get half price. No kidding.
Oh, that's 20 years ago. That's 20 years ago. That doesn't happen anymore.
I just ended that industry.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna obviously.
Hey. I'm sorry, Bird Dog. You know what you also can do?
What's that?
You can actually drink. You can drink alcohol.
Yeah, but I'm not really into alcohol. I don't drink that much.
I'm just saying, for those guys, they're like, well, I at least got to have a drink every night or something to calm me down. I drink vodka, probably 2 to 3 drinks a night for a year, and I dropped 45 pounds. Even though they're like, oh no, it still turns to sugar. No, vodka, the way it's burned and the way your body breaks it down is different than taking that scoop of sugar from an Oreo, from a slice of bread, or from a French fry. It's based on.
Is that just what is that with a? Do you mix it with something, or are you just straight out of the bottle?
No, I'm not that much of a degenerate. No, I would use flavored sparkling water. Or you could just regular sparkling water, squirt a lemon or lime or something in it. And this way you still get, you get to relax, part of your night in. You're not feeling like you're biting at the bit,
All right. So we're gonna come up with like a simple plan. You're gonna show us, like, I think you text me or you email me some simple ways to get started. And then we'll do is we'll release that on our website so people can take a look at it. We'll send out some of those videos. And if you want more information, what's the best way for people to track down the information. I'll just put ketogenic diet in the search bar for
No,
YouTube or what?
it's just ketogenic.com. No, not ketogenics, because if you add the S, you're going to find some company trying to make money off of it.
Okay.
So it's ketogenic.com. There's a couple of guys, if you really want to learn how to do it, Dr. Ken Berry. This guy will give you step by step. And he's kind of funny. He's a doctor from Tennessee for 13 years, and he knows what he's talking about. But he has a twang. It's pretty funny to listen to him. And
Are you making fun of us country folk?
no, I am part country. I'm part rock and roll. So also check out Big Food and Big Pharma, Killing for Profit. That will open your eyes to the whole industry that I'm talking about, how they're killing us.
All right, man. Well, it sounds like some great information, and based on the success that you've had, and the fact that it's helping you with not only your diet, your mental state, dealing with the issues you've had at work, I think that's pretty amazing in itself. That even a diet could help change some of your mental health. I think that's pretty amazing in itself.
Yeah, it's been great, man. The self-confidence I have now that I've lost all this weight that I haven't lost, that I've struggled with for pretty much since high school. I'm below my weight now in high school, and I still haven't lost any strength. I feel fantastic. And one of the major things that has motivated me is having young boys. They're 7 and 3. I got to be around for these guys to make them into men that I, want them to be. I can't be stuffing my face or eating the food that the government, the food pyramid that the government says is totally wrong. It's based on incorrect, studies they did back in the 50s and 60s. And it's amazing. So, you know what? I'm telling you, reach out to me. You can find me on, look me up on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram under Marlon50. I can help people. Frank can help people. Bird Dog can help people. And Bird Dog, we can help you, man. I'm telling you. You like bacon? You should be eating bacon instead of that nutter butter.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't cook bacon very often because it's just so dang greasy, and I thought it was bad for you.
They got it pre-made. You just barely heat it up.
Yeah,
and
the
throw it in your
cooked
mouth.
bacon. Yeah.
It's good stuff, man.
I eat a lot of sausage, so what I'll do in the morning is I'll start cooking the sausage, but I'll put onions in it. You just said onions were bad.
Well, no, if they're just a little bit. I mean, if you're tracking your carb intake for the day and you're eating a whole onion, that's going to put you over. But if you're just having a slice or two to help make the flavor better, that's all right.
Yeah, and
but
then
you got to track it.
Yeah, and then I'll cook that all up and mix it all together. Then I'll throw some spices in there, and then I throw the eggs on top and cook the eggs and mixed in with it, and that's pretty good,
Yeah, that's a good start. I would do that.
But I mean, for breakfast I eat pretty good. I mean, it's usually just eggs and grits. Grits probably aren't good for you.
Grits,
grits are bad.
That's a grain. Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah, I ate the heck out of grits. So I gotta get rid of my grits. I gotta get rid of my Nutty Buddies, my ice cream, my everything. I hate
Well, you don't
this
have
podcast.
to. It's just if you want to live.
I hate this podcast. It turned me into. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I was there, man. I grew up on cereal and Pop-Tarts.
Oh, I gotta give up cereal too. Oh
yeah, you can't have that stuff. Mr. Kellogg, actually, he was actually okay guy. It's the Kellogg company that said breakfast was the most important meal of the day, and turns out they funded the study that said that.
Well, it sounds like some really great information, and I think that, we've seen this over 25 years of law enforcement, how bad law enforcement diets are, and especially when you go into a situation when you're fighting for your life, you need to be in the best shape that you can be to handle that situation. So if you're carrying 30, 40, 50 pounds with you, that's like having 34, 50 pounds in the fight on the bad guy side. So look at it that way. We don't want to change because that's one of the two things that police officers hate the most, Eric.
The way it is and change.
Exactly. Good, Patty One.
Let me tell you, I weighed 190 when I started at Boynton, and then you all know how fat I am now, or how fat I was when I left, when I retired. I've lost a good 30, 40 pounds now, but I don't know. I didn't do much different other than I'm not eating, at McDonald's and all those fast food joints all the time.
Well, they put sugar in all the food that you're probably eating. You don't even realize it, man. So you're thinking you're cutting stuff out, and it's still in there. That's what I'm saying. Watch Sugar: The Bitter Truth. Watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 310 when I retired, which is way overweight. I was, fat as ever, and I hated myself for it. But I don't know. I was able to carry myself though for some reason. I don't know how I did it.
Well, now you have the information. Now you have a solution for your overweight pollution. And a lot of it, yeah, and a lot of it is based upon this information that Eric shared with us. And for all our listeners, this isn't just the one silver bullet. You're gonna have to do some other things. You're gonna have to get out and you're gonna have to walk around. You're gonna have to do some exercise. You have to drink some water. And just because you make coffee with water doesn't mean that counts. You have to drink straight up water, at least half your body weight in ounces a day. And, we're very, very under hydrated, which causes a whole bunch of other health issues. So this isn't just one thing, but this is something with conjunction with some exercise, some sleeping habits. You could be healthier if you just take a little bit of this advice.
Yeah, and watch what you're drinking. There's a lot of sugar in everything we're drinking.
Well, I drink nothing but water for the most part. I've never been a coffee drinker, so it's kind of weird being a cop for 25 years and I never touched coffee.
Yeah, but you were a Mountain Dew-aholic.
Yeah, that was my coffee. Yeah, absolutely. That's what that was. So in a sense, I guess I was drinking it with the sugar.
Which probably has more. Yeah, it probably has 10 times the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. So
and sugar. So
and sugar, exactly. So
absolutely.
But yeah, man, thank you for coming on the show so much, Eric, and explaining this stuff, because you're right. There's a lot, just like in law enforcement, there's a lot of misconceptions, and until you get the truth, just like what we're doing to give you guys the truth about the people behind the badge, you got to be a little bit smarter with your diets and do your investigations so you can have a healthy, long life and stop feeding an industry that doesn't really care about us and take care of the people that you love, which is with a better health and mental health as well.
Well, if you guys all got Netflix, check out a documentary called Magic Pill. It pretty much taps into some of the stuff I was talking about. It's very interesting.
Maybe you can make a list of all those different things and we could post that and people can go on there and look for themselves.
Yeah, I thought the magic pill was blue. Is that not right?
It's pretty much making fun of the fact there isn't a magic pill that, change the way you feel and your healthy living. There's more to it than that. It's through your gut, through your diet.
So how long did it take for you to get into it? Like, and were you craving stuff? How long before the cravings go away? Because I'm big into ice cream. 3 days?
3 days, but 3 days. But I did keep my little vodka crutch at night. So when I didn't eat, I technically wasn't fasting after 5 o'clock because I'd have a couple of drinks. But I wasn't throwing sugar down my throat or a pizza or, hamburger or fries. So
talk about the schedule of eating, because I kind of missed that when the whole microphone's changing and all that craziness. So you said that you only eat 3 meals a day, but tell us the time schedules that you eat and the separation in time.
Pretty much. I get up at 4:30. I have my black coffee with a scoop of ghee butter. I use the Himalayan salt, so there's like a little salt taste to it. And what that supposedly does something to start your fat burning enzymes and all this stuff going. And so I've been doing it. It's been working. And then I go to the gym, work out for about an hour and 20 minutes. And some days it's weights and a little cardio, and some days it's heavy cardio and no weights. And I come home, shower, blah, 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 get ready for work. And, I'll make 3 eggs, get my sausage and my avocado, bring it to work. And I have about an hour to wait and get to work about 8. I eat at 9 o'clock. And then by about 11:30, I start getting a little bit hungry, because I've already burned a lot of fat on my body. I'll have like a half ounce of pork rinds. Now, the bag might say there's 7 servings in there. I don't eat half the bag. I'll definitely say, all right, portion control. And that's giving me some protein and some fat, no carbs. And then about 12:30, 1 o'clock, hey, it's lunchtime. There's my pre-made meal, that I've already prepared. And then it could be hearts of palms, which is a good pasta substitute, mixed with sausage and my pasta. I eat that. And then come 4:30 is my next dinner meal. And sometimes watching my macros and what I'm calculating, sometimes I have a little bit more fat, sometimes I have a little bit more protein or less carbs. It can go back and forth depending on what I ate. And I'll have a cauliflower pizza with pepperoni and cheese on it. And I'll throw some, I don't know, some spinach or broccoli on it. And I'll coat it with ranch dressing and I'll chow that thing down by like 5 o'clock and then I'm done. And because it's all heavy, rich, healthy fats, I'm not hungry again. And I go to bed at 9 o'clock too. I don't stay up late. So I'm very disciplined on that. You need at least 7 hours of sleep. You got to get that time,
Yeah, so 3 times a day is going to be one of the toughest things, I think, to overcome. And I'm not going to bed at 9 either. I'm going to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning.
What time are you getting up?
About 10.
Okay, so you would adjust your times of eating to maybe 9 o'clock is your last meal at night.
Okay.
And you're staying up till 1. And then when you get up at 10, you would probably not want to eat till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Saying that first hour or two when you get up, you can have your coffee, but you don't drink coffee, maybe tea or whatever. And then you start doing some exercise of some sort, riding a bike.
Go for a walk, yeah.
Go for a walk.
I have a really cool golf cart. It goes really fast.
Are you gonna run?
I could go for miles on that thing. I mean, I think you
should get on your stationary bike for a half an hour a day, or start with like 10 minutes.
It does take foot power to make it go.
You alternate feet at least?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the little things you can do, like delay yourself from eating for an hour or two, and people are fine with. A lot of people skip breakfast. I used to think that was like shocking. I'm like, how do you skip breakfast? I was taught that's the first meal you're supposed to have, and now I realize, you know what? They lied to us. They're gonna make money off me.
So your body's burning stuff before you eat it?
Yeah, your body's using the energy source that's in your body, which is fat that you have in your body, and that stored glucose, which is from the carbs you're eating.
And that's good that it's burning that?
Yeah, but the last thing you want to do is your liver's full of stored glucose, which is carbohydrate, which is fat. So it's going to burn that first. So if you don't eat any more carbs that are going to produce more glucose, eventually it runs out of the glucose and goes, oh, shoot, what are we going to burn now? And that's when you get into ketosis, which is the process of burning fat. And you can't just say, all right, I burned fat for 2 days, I'm going to eat this pizza. Because then your body's going to go right back to carbohydrates and burn that. Okay. You got to stick with. But you can eat all the meat you want, man, all the cheese. But make sure you throw in a bunch of, leafy green vegetables that help you out. No carrots. Anything that's in the ground is probably bad. You need stuff that grows out of the ground.
Well, that's a good point.
What do you mean, no carrots?
It's when you get to your 190 you wear as a cop, you can have carrots and potatoes. But until then,
hear what he said, anything that grows in the ground, don't eat at first. Eat the stuff that grows on top of the ground.
Yeah.
The green beans, avocados, tomatoes.
Well, tomatoes are fruit. They are a little high in sugar, but you can have a couple slices. You can't eat the whole thing though. Yeah.
So those are the good little tips. If it grows on the ground, don't eat it at first. You gotta put yourself out a little bit. You gotta take a break from it, I guess.
So I figure I'm just gonna go out after I wake up, walk around for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go out in the pasture with my cows and I'm gonna start eating grass with them.
That would help.
Yeah, watch out for the mushrooms. You might be out there for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Walking around, talking to trees.
Mooing.
Exactly.
All right,
I don't know what happened to him. All right. So again, our guest tonight, Eric Reynolds, a Boynton Beach police officer, a warrior, and a man who learned how to eat the right way so he could enjoy his grandchildren in the future. And as always, our incredible engineer, vice president, and everything else that's in part of this program, the Bird Dog. And Bird Dog, tell people how they can find more information about Adopt a Cop USA.
Oh, you can find us anywhere, but especially on the World Wide Web. That's the www.myaacusa.org. That's our website. It's awesome. You should go visit it and check it out. Somebody does a really good job maintaining that. We have our social media sites. It's Adopt a Cop USA official site. Don't forget the official site. And we have 2 other Facebook pages. One is Sergeant Frank's Bird Dog Posse. That's the one with the law dog and things of that nature. And then we have our Adopt a Cop USA Outdoor Crusaders page. You can contact us on any one of those pages or on our website.
Again, thank you for joining us. And thank you for all your support, everybody out there. Please like and share this video with all the people that you care about, because the only way we can get the message out is if our friends like and share our content. Thank you guys so much, and God bless America.
Listen, young one, it's not cool to be a thug. There is nothing good about going selling drugs. The money don't mean nothing when you're harming everyone, and you can get killed bringing pain to your mom. Take a legal substance and you can OT. Overdose from nasty chemicals in the streets. Live a happy life.